Well, welcome everyone. I'm Brian with Malomo, but that is definitely not important today. What is more important are the panelists and the discussion that we're going to be having. Again, this is a quick 30-minute conversation. What we really want to do here is there has been a new launch on the Malomo side. There's been a really new launch on the Attentive side. They both work really well together. So we just wanted to take some time to go into the weeds, probably show you what you probably can't find on the website right now, and give you some explanations and answer some questions. So with that, let's kind of move forward here. So housekeeping is just like normal. There's a chat. Feel free to put your questions and the comments in there. I'll look at that and I'll interrupt these guys with these questions as much as I can. And then again, we're recording this just like every other webinar out there, but we'll share that with everyone at the end. So first and foremost, we have two speakers today, Yaw and Blake and Pearl with Attentive. Blake, really quickly, let me give you your quick bio here. Blake heads partner community at Attentive, industry-leading conversational commerce platform. I've been in just e-commerce the last few years, but I'm pretty sure, Blake, like your name came up on week 1 or week 2 within me digging into the community. Then on the other side here, we have Yaw and Yaw is the co-founder and CEO of Malomo. And so he will talk through, first and foremost, the Malomo platform. So Yaw, I'm going to let you take it from here. Obviously, we have an agenda, but I kind of went through that before. But again, like I'll let you kind of screen share and we'll start.
Amazing. Thanks, Brian. All right. Let's see. Let me share my screen. Amazing. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Brian, for teeing this up. Thank you, Blake, for joining us. Very excited for today. So really quickly, I just wanted to touch on Malomo, what it is we do. And then we're obviously going to walk through live demo of the new tracking page feature that we've built, how this works really, really well with Attentive, some very interesting Attentive use cases that pair nicely with Malomo, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A. So a little bit about Malomo, lots of customers, partners on the call. But if you haven't heard about us, we're an order tracking platform to help you manage the customer experience from the time the order is placed by your customer all the way through delivery, and hopefully very soon foreshadowing beyond that. But we work with hundreds of high growth merchants in the e-com ecosystem, have tracked more than $1 billion worth of e-commerce orders on their behalf. And through that, we've seen firsthand the impact that tracking can have on the customer experience. We've seen about tens of millions of visits to tracking pages across our customers. One thing is for certain, looking at all that data, bad tracking experiences can wreak havoc on your business. We as consumers, we hate bad shipping. We hate it so much that we will change our buying behaviors as a result. I'm sure you all probably have a story about a delivery that went wrong, really, really pissed you off, knee-jerk reaction. You probably likely blamed the retailer and not the carrier when that thing went wrong. More than 8 out of 10 consumers will actually not return to an online store after just a single bad delivery experience. We are super sensitive and unforgiving people. This is obviously a massive problem for merchants, right? With a lot of retailers, we've seen more than half of their revenue is generated from only 20% of the customers who buy from them repeatedly. And repeat customers, they drive most of the profit in your business. So you really can't afford to just leave the delivery experience up to chance. The ironic thing about a lot of this is you actually have no control over delivery, right? You got tons of control over your ads, make them beautiful, to place them in all the right places that you need to place them. You have complete control over the look and feel of your website and buying experience. And then you lose control of the experience right when things often go the most wrong. And so at Maloma, we've obviously been on this maniacal mission to give retailers back control over delivery. When a customer buys from your storefront, we want to let you control the content and timing of messages to really proactively notify your customers of delivery. We want to let you use the marketing tools you already know and love, like Attentive, to send those messages, and then drive those customers to a beautifully branded, high-performing tracking experience that you control. The reason why we've been on this maniacal mission is because consumers view tracking a lot. So right now, a Maloma tracking page is viewed by a consumer literally every single second. So your customers want to hear from you about where their order is. This is obviously an amazing opportunity for you to control what you want them to see and feel about your brand. And so we recently introduced a couple new innovations that let you build tracking pages that we're extremely excited about. And one of those is our new Shopify theme app. And so I'm going to walk you through that today. So we're going to do a live demo. And then right after, Blake is going to walk through how you can use post-purchase to really drive your SMS strategy and vice versa. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quick. All right, wonderful. And I'm assuming you guys can see this too. So right now I'm in my mock Shopify store. I sell dog apparel and dog treats. If you're a cat lover, you can just hit that leave button right now and exit the webinar. But so I'm going to show you how you can take one of your existing pages and actually turn that existing page into a tracking page in just a few minutes. So obviously we were on the bestsellers page. I'm showing all of the awesome dog stuff I sell. When you install the Maloma app, turn this off, you'll now have access to a new Shopify app called Shipment Tracker. So you'll be able to see this under the apps section whenever you want to add a new block. We've built a Maloma banner to power this. And so as soon as you install the app, you click on that tracker and just add your API key. So you can grab your API key from the Maloma dashboard. And as soon as you do, you'll see a preview of the tracking block show up. And you can't see this right now, but there are little kind of toggles that show a preview of what the tracking block looks like as you move through the different states of delivery. So obviously this is kind of bland. So we're going to do a couple things to make it look much better. So I'm going to add a background image on here really quickly. Make sure there's no repeat. Cool, we've got a background image. It's a little tight. We'll add some padding on there. All right, that looks a little better. Cool, so like we've got a banner hero image here, really nicely branded. Kind of want to add some background to separate the tracking block from the banner background, so you can actually change the elements of the tracking block. So awesome, we can add a background color. You can change that color to be whatever you want. Feels a little cramped, so we might add a little bit of padding around. And we kind of want to smooth out the edges, so we might add some border radius on there. All right, that's looking pretty good. And then you can also change the elements inside of the tracking block. So I can change the width here and make the tracking block a little bit wider. I can change the button colors. So I've been using pink throughout my theme. Okay, that's great. And then as I click through, you can see that it looks really good, right? It's really crisp, on brand. In just a few seconds, I've kind of transformed my bestsellers page into a tracking page. The great thing about this is because it lives in Shopify, you can use all the elements inside Shopify. So because it's post-purchase, we might want to show different elements here. So instead of showing a bunch of treats, we might hide one of these and drop in maybe our blog content. Or if we've got a video, we might want to showcase that and keep people entertained while they wait for their order. Amazing. So in just a few minutes, I've got a tracking page created right inside Shopify. The other really nice thing about this is you can create unlimited tracking pages inside your storefront. And so I've got a secondary page kind of already mocked up. I actually want to segment out the experiences and drive a segment of my customers to the page I created before, and actually drive a different segment of my customers to this new page. And the intent for the new page is to drive people into our SMS marketing list. And so I'm going to actually change the banner layout and put in a call to action around the SMS program that we're running. So I'm going to remove this banner image really quick. Okay. Oops. Oh, sorry. I'm on the wrong tracking page. Okay, there we go. Remove that banner image. So I took that background banner away. And then I've already got a pre-built, what is it? Oh, live demos. Gotta love it. Let's try this again. Remove that background image. Right, thank you. And then we will drop in a little call to action image that highlights our SMS program, right? So the awesome thing about this is you can link this image to your SMS sign up form, literally segment the customer experience so we can, inside of Attentive, look at, is this customer a subscriber or not? Message them updated tracking information, and then drive them to the specific tracking page that helps us achieve our goals and objectives. So this is a perfect segue. I'm actually going to pass it to Blake, and he's going to talk through a couple different strategies around SMS. But again, we're super excited about this new theme app, and we'll give you a couple more details here at the end.
Awesome. Get my screen up here. Awesome. There we go. Third time's a charm. Awesome. Thanks so much, Yaw. Really appreciate it. That was amazing. I gotta say, I would order from your dog store anytime. I am a massive dog fan, so that was a great call. Appreciate it. But hey, everyone, I'm Blake. I head partner community, as mentioned, at Attentive. I'm incredibly passionate about retail and e-com. Also, just pioneering this idea that SMS is a lot more than just revenue, and it's really a relationship building channel at its core, which I think transitions really nicely into kind of what we're talking about today with Malomo. But just real quickly, with who we are at Attentive, if you're not familiar with us, we're the industry leader in conversational commerce. We work with over 5,000 amazing brands like CB2 and Coach and Urban Outfitters, just to name a few, as well as great partners like Malomo. And our SMS first software helps everyone from entrepreneurs through enterprises really strengthen and scale relationships with their customers. So as I mentioned, SMS is a lot more than just drive revenue. A great use case for SMS that I think is really on the rise is transactional SMS. It's actually the #1 most requested type of messaging that consumers want from merchants. In fact, over 97% of consumers want transactional updates via text to update them throughout the post-purchase journey. And what's even better about these transactional updates is that they fall under this category of what we call automated messaging. And we see up to 99% open rates on automated messaging, 30+% click-through rates on these as well. And so when we're thinking about those tracking pages that Yaw was just outlining, we're really maximizing eyeballs and engagement back to those tracking pages and really incentivizing all the behaviors that we want on those pages. But we're also giving consumers what they want, which is updates on what's going on with their order. So just at a high level, the Malomo and Attentive integrations, so you're kind of familiar and get up to speed. Our merchants really use it for 4 core reasons. And I classify that as to drive engagement and revenue, to reduce support volume, to build brand awareness, and because simply I think they're better together, and I feel like that's a great 4th one to put on there. But I want to dive into some cool use cases as kind of Yaw was showing that tracking page experience. How are we actually getting them to there, and how are we making these messages more effective? How are we personalizing? How are we growing the SMS kind of experience? So at a core, this is what I call your core 4 transactional text that you would set up within the Malomo and Attentive integration. They're the lowest hanging fruit, and they're going to make sure that they give the biggest impact and get customers back to your tracking pages, but also give them what they want, which is, updates on their order. And so we have order confirmed, order shipped, out for delivery, and then actually delivered. And these allow you to give those order updates and then again, drive traffic back to site. So this is really, I think, where I want to start actually with this is we know list growth is so important. They need to be opted in, obviously, to get to the SMS program. And so at Attentive, we have 24 sign up units that get over 24, sorry, that get folks opted in. But I want to call out two that I don't think get enough attention and really are directly related to transactional SMS. And the first one here is our opt-in at checkout. And this allows them right before they're about to complete the purchase to actually opt in to the SMS program and get those order updates. So we see a lot of our merchants who will add this to their checkout to make sure we're getting folks on the SMS list. This is a really low hanging fruit to take advantage of here. And then this is an example of a tracking page with Thread wallets that they've actually set up. Oftentimes this is, as Yaw mentioned, every 1 second, one of these pages is getting viewed. And you don't want to be giving this traffic, obviously, back to the shipping carrier if you can help it. So this is a great way to not only do that, but grow the SMS list as a byproduct of that as well. So we see a lot of merchants take advantage of obviously offering promotions like a 10, 15% off discount. But I think something that's really great that we're seeing more of and hearing about more is really just calling out the shipping update aspect of this. Sign up to SMS to get order updates. And also maybe if you offer customer support, to get VIP support over SMS. So you're really creating that post-purchase experience in addition to getting them on the SMS list. It's adding more value. It's helping them to see SMS as more of a promotions channel, but really something that they can use as a resource post-purchase. Also, something that we're seeing too, even more up the funnel, but it's not on this slide here, but I think it's important. As you maybe have sign up units on site and you want to call out more of what you're doing post-purchase, we're even seeing brands say, hey, sign up to SMS just to get order updates. As you complete your order, you're going to get texted about it. And you can also use this channel to engage in support. So you're kind of changing the narrative a little bit of it's not a promotions channel, it's more about customer experience overall. So I've kind of showed how we grow the list, what are some of the core things, but I want to show you just a few examples that I think are more of a way of thinking about it from a personalization standpoint and how we can even do better than what I outlined initially. In this first example here, what we're seeing is a order confirmed update. So once the order is processed, we're using the integration to actually send a confirmation text. And we're just doing a simple, first time customer versus a returning customer. I was kind of talking about some of that personalization and segmentation on if they're opted in, but we can even do this with just, their level of, maybe the first time versus a returning customer. Really simple way to give them a little bit more personalization than just a standard confirmation. This next one I love, it's a cross-sell. We can implement marketing even into some of these transactional texts, but do it in a tasteful way. And so what this is they purchased one product but not another. Maybe it complements that product. In this case, they bought coffee but didn't purchase the French press. And we give them that VIP offer in addition to letting them know that their order has been confirmed. It's a great way to just do it subtly, but also you're giving them a lot of what they want already and then maybe giving them an offer that they can think about and consider. So a great way to do this, really easy to set up in the Journey Builder, and you're leveraging this awesome integration as a result. Another one here is on the actual out for delivery. This is where we're building the hype. Maybe they're engaging with your tracking pages already. And this is great for us to get them to the tracking page, but also we're building some hype within the messaging. So we're segmenting if they're a VIP. So maybe you define a VIP as someone who's purchased X amount of times, for example. And so we're going to give them just a little bit of a personalized message and then also drive them back to that tracking page. So again, you're getting really, I'd say maximum impact out of that message there. And then lastly, order delivered. This is a great way. Once the package is at their door, you're building the suspense, you're getting them back to a tracking page so they can see some of that information, but you're also leveraging conversational SMS, which is super powerful. And what we do with this is we're just basically asking them to tell us what they're interested in. And based on that conversation that we're having through automation, we start to kind of personalize, learn more about the customer and get them more relevant information. So maybe they're interested in learning more about how to maximize the benefits of the product or something like that. So a really great way for you to be able to engage in a conversational way. The last thing I want to kind of talk about as a new product that we just launched at Attentive that I think really highlights the Malomo experience post-purchase, and this is Attentive Concierge. This is a managed two-way conversational tool that we just released that allows you to have all of your inbound SMS replies, or actually inbound responses replied to in real time, as well as start some proactive outreach. So there's no need for you to staff this massive in-house support team to handle inbound replies. Our agents will actually act like an extension of your own team to handle all of those replies. So through this, we can reduce support ticket volume. We drive engagement, and we're also just driving a lot of revenue through conversations. These build trust, build loyalty, help to deliver what I call that aha experience. And when you think about how this pertains to transactional text, if you think about it, you complete an order, and typically it's like a no reply email, or it's so kind of just, hey, like, we're not going to respond, we don't monitor this inbox. But if you can change that dynamic the minute that text is sent, that your order is delivered, you're saying, hey, if you have any questions during this process at all, text us and we're here. We'll respond, within 2 to 4 minutes. We're going to get you help. It really changes the paradigm that this is not just a promotions or even just transactional. This is like a customer experience channel at the end of the day. And so you're driving, obviously, through this experience, the traffic back to Malomo's tracking pages, but then also if they need help, they can text into this number. It really multiplies, I think, the impact that it's going to have. And so we see a lot of merchants, again, when they complete the purchase, they're going to say, hey, this is a conversational SMS channel, so text in if you have questions. Or even as you opt in, maybe on the tracking page, maybe on site, you're calling out that you're going to get shipping updates, but you're also going to get that kind of customer support angle to SMS as well. So this is really something we're super bullish on, and I think this integration really pairs nicely with it, and we're really excited, I think, about what's going to be possible as this kind of rolls out. But yeah, that's at a high level some of the stuff that I think that complements really well. I'll pass it back over to Brian from here.
Thanks, Blake. This is fantastic so far, and thank you to both of you for leaving some time for some Q&A. Appreciate it. Really do. I thought we would go a little beyond this. So I have a few things off the top of my head that I'd love to ask both of you that I think would be relevant for the audience. And forgive me for being so direct, but I think it's probably my responsibility to do that. So get your sales hats on really quick. I guess my question is this, right? We're going into this, it seems that we're going into this new kind of environment where a lot of now e-commerce providers are looking at their marketing budget and being like, do we have to cut something here? Knowing that, we look at also the e-commerce stack, and a lot of e-commerce merchants have a ton of technology vendors in their stack because a lot of them are getting value. So kind of like give us your kind of perspectives of like, what is the value in, concise, as concise as you can be, like, of the integration of both of your platforms, so we can kind of showcase here, the value and why these platforms are really important, especially in these times for e-commerce companies.
Yeah, you want to start?
I told you. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to start and give my 2 cents. It's a difficult environment to be in. Like, I think merchants should look at every app in their tech stack and scrutinize whether they need it or not. Like, and I include Malomo in that bucket. Like, I don't think we should necessarily be immune to things. The reason why you may want to keep a tool like Malomo is because every consumer experience is shipping if they're buying from you online, right? It's like you are delivering a customer experience whether you like it or not. And so regardless of whether you use Malomo, like, you should control that part of the customer experience. Why I view this integration as super powerful is, like, they both work hand in hand to build the other channel really well, right? Like, consumers want to hear from you. They want the communication by text. In that moment, that's a prime opportunity to drive them into a first conversation with you and start to build that relationship. The merchants that are winning over the long period of time are the ones that are building their own audiences, and SMS is becoming one of the most intimate owned audiences that you could own. Like, what Attentive just launched, I think, is like insane. Like, to be able to two-way SMS, two-way text to the customer, and get insights about what they need and want, but also provide them value, I think is kind of incredible. Like, it's probably what I think every marketer should hope to achieve. And tracking is just that channel that's so natural to drive that opt-in. So that's kind of my 2 cents around, like, why you should continue to look at investing in this channel. But again, it's every merchant's got to make that decision for themselves.
Yeah, I think, just to piggyback off that, I think you took the words out of my mouth, I think, in a lot of ways. Yeah, but I think it really comes down to enriching the experience. Like we know that these are the touch points that make or break an experience. And like I think you were talking about it, like, if they have a bad experience, like they might not come back. And I think having a seamless way to show that you care about their experience, you're being transparent, and you're using it on the channel that they prefer, like I think it's just a match that really pairs nicely. And I think over time they come to expect that. And I really believe that we're seeing at Attentive, a lot of our merchants want more meaningful ways to engage with their customers, and this integration does that in a nutshell. And I think that when you look at how the behaviors have changed over time, SMS becoming a more preferred channel, it is becoming a central hub, I think. But you need to be able to do things like transactional updates and then get them what they need and want. So I think it's really, you just got to look at it from a customer experience standpoint, and this integration, I think, really encapsulates that.
Yeah, I would probably say too, like there's always been that need to like, all right, let's think about repeat transactions, right? How do we get the buyer back? But I imagine now more than ever, there's really going to be a focus on that going into the next quarter, and obviously these tools. And maybe one thing that I didn't hear from both of you, but I'm going to kind of put a spotlight on is the kind of like the it's sort of like a variable pricing model type of thing, right? Where it's like, listen, like you're already, depends on like the shipments, and depends on how many SMS. Like it's not just that like, hey, this is upfront cost. It's depending on like actually the volume that you're the amount of customers you're talking to and so forth. And so that's really helpful when you're thinking about budgeting and stuff like that. But 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, I think we can end right now. Actually, you're in San Diego, right, Blake? So we're covering all time zones here.
Very much, yeah.
Awesome. But again, thank you all for coming, all attendees. Appreciate it. Yaw, Blake, thank you for your time. We'll get the recording out to everyone shortly, and appreciate, again, the time and attention here. We'll talk to everyone later.
Thanks.
Everyone.